Hello everybody. Here's my next attempt at a live video. Hopefully I won't stutter too much or get you confused on what this organ contains. This video is going to be about the Doherty Cathedral organ and the different sounds that it has. And I'm going to start here first with the layout of the organ. You have the lower row here is for the grate. You get the upper row, or the center row, is going to be for the swell. And the top row, you got some pedals on this side, and some mechanical couplers, and the rest of the mechanical couplers on the swell side. So it's laid out quite nicely, and I kind of like the way it is, because it's just easy to understand. Now if we start with the sounds, let's go with the diapason. The diapason is mirrored on the bass and treble side. And it's your standard diapason stop. There's nothing really fancy about it. We have a 4-foot principal. And again, it's pretty well standard. That's more for if you would like to add it with the diapason, obviously. We also have a 16-foot bourdon on both sides of on the treble side and the bass side. Now a split rank is the Vox Jubilante, which is a detuned rank. It's often called a Celeste. Play that with the diapason. And the split rank on the bass side, we have a sax horn. It's also known as a sackbut. It's a very reedy sounding rank. Compare that to the principal. There's a big difference between the two. So that covers the grate on the individual sounds. If we move to the swell, there's a 16-foot cello here, which I'll compare it to the grate on the bourdon. It's a little reedier once again. There's also a second 16-foot. It's called the 16-foot euphone, which I find is kind of unique with this instrument. You usually don't see 3 16-foot ranks within an organ. This one has it. And again, it's even a thinner sound on the euphone. What you can do is mix it with the 16-foot cello. I have detuned the euphone just slightly so it will beat with the 16-foot cello. It also works as a solo stop. Let's say if I throw in the harp aeolian on the bass side, and we shut off the cello, we don't want that. There we go. It doesn't have to be all loud and boisterous all the time. It has a very soft, mellow tone to it. Quite different. Also on the swell, there isn't very many loud ranks on the swell. This one here has a dulciana on the treble side and a stop diapason on the bass side for the 8-foot rank. The dulciana is, how would I say, it's at the rear rank of the swell box, which there are air or sound holes for the sound to come out of the rear, and then it kind of wraps around the top of the organ. Where the stop diapason, there are no openings for the stop diapason. It's a total enclosed rank, and it has to go through a labyrinth of wooden chambers before it comes out the swell at the front. So what you have is a very wooden type sound. Here's a dulciana that is a little more opened. And that's, you can do a lot of things with those two ranks. It has another 4-foot here on the swell, which again, very similar to the 4-foot principal in the great. Maybe that's about the brightest rank on this entire organ. And we also have a 2-foot rank. Now this piccolo here is causing me a little grief lately. Since the organ is settling down, it needs a little more work again, but this mute is starting to cipher just slightly. Nothing major. It's going to be a quick fix once I get to it. You have to take quite a bit of this organ apart to get at that. But this is the piccolo. It's fairly standard. On the great, there's a 2-foot hautboy, or also known as an oboe. It also has a 2-foot angelica, which is identical to the hautboy or the oboe. But you mix the two together, there's a combination stop here, the harpaeolum, which I showed you earlier. So that is the bass solo stops here. Of course, we also have the pedal. Whoa. We have a loud version of the Bourdon, and we also have the violoncello, which is slightly softer. It's a little tricky for me to play the pedals because I'm also playing the treadles at the same time, so it's 1 foot on the treadle and 1 foot on the pedal. So let's give you a sample here of diapason, vox jubilante, and Bourdon. I'm going to add the 16-foot Bourdon to that, and the 4-foot flute in the great. Adding the 4-foot principal and the 4-foot sax horn. Adding the octave coupler. The dulciana and stop diapason in the swell. You hear that piccolo shining through there? It's there. It's annoying me. You might not be able to hear it, but I like things being a little better than that. But we'll get to that another time. Here is adding the viola 4-foot on both treble and bass side. Adding the cello on the bass and treble. adding the Angelica and the piccolo. Adding the 16-foot euphone. Now that is your full chorus on the swell and your full chorus on the grate. Now I can add the swell to grate coupler, and I'll prepare my pedal stops here, and I will do the last part of this song one more time. Getting the most even tone there because of the 1 foot treadling, but it works on full organ if you have to do it. So that is roughly a sample of everything that this organ can do, or not everything, the individual stops of what is here. There are so many combinations you can use between coupling the grate to the swell, playing up an octave, playing down an octave. It's just it's endless, the possibilities with this organ. So I hope that helps you out somewhat if you were curious of how this organ works and what it all does, and the capabilities. And I hope that get to see you again sometime. So comment if you have any questions for me, and I will get to them to answer. So have a great night, or if you're on the other side of the planet in Australia, have a great morning. And we'll see you again. Bye now.